The sun's shining down.
You see, sunburn is skin cancer's best mate.
There's nothing healthy about a tan.
I started working in cancer counselling in about 1965. You know, when we started out, the goals were pretty ambitious because the goals were to make a big dent in the incidence and mortality of our most common cancer, which is cancer of the skin. And come January, we were the lobster nation because you would go to the beach and people were desperately trying to get a suntan, but in the process they were getting very badly burned. In a way, I think the first breakthrough in terms of communicating with the public was the idea to do slip, slop, slap.
Just say these simple words. Slip, slop, slap.
Slip, slop, slap, which very rapidly went national, was a major step forward. And I think the interesting thing about it is it just appealed to children, teenagers, adults and old people. Everybody actually loved it. We thought we'd better get out on the beach with this. We had a sort of motorhome thing and they would go around all the beach resorts. And I had a loudspeaker with the jingle and they'd turn up at the beach like the ice cream vendors do. As soon as they turn up, all the kids would come piling in and they'd be singing the jingle because they'd already internalised the words and the music because they'd seen it on TV. We were able to set up some very sophisticated research and evaluation studies to measure the impact of the communication campaign on population behaviour. The campaign added seek and slide to cover the message encouraging people to seek shade and to wear sunglasses.
It turns out slip, slop, slap is working.
The latest Cancer Council study shows attitudes towards tanning are changing.
We've got really good evidence that the work done back in the 80s, that groundwork that was set then, is now coming through in reduced melanoma rates in the under 40 age group. We're hopeful that we'll see that reduction carry on as the SunSmart generation grows up. Me and my team are now kind of standing on the shoulders of giants. We're part of something much bigger. These programs started long before I was born, actually. So really, it's kind of like the baton's passed on now, and we're running with it, and we're still continuing to do the work that prevents cancer and saves lives.
We began with mass media, Sid Seagull, appearing at beaches and things like that, but it really needed to be locked into something, and that's when the SunSmart Schools program was started.
Through the National SunSmart Schools programme, we're protecting more than 2 million little Aussies from UV radiation that leads to skin cancer. So that's 2 million kids in hats that are getting the message and learning how to be sun-smart at school.
Personally, I love to see the signs on schools. You drive past a school and you see it, the SunSmart accredited school. That's a terrific endorsement of the program.
The Dark Side of Tanning was a campaign that was introduced in 2008, and that really shifted the focus of the Cancer Council in terms of our skin cancer prevention messages. So thinking about Sid Seagull, that was a real family-friendly, fun message, but that shift that took place was really to have these hard-hitting campaigns that really show people the consequences of not doing the right thing when it came to skin cancer prevention.
Sunbeds emit UV radiation that is up to 6 times as intense as the midday sun.
The ban on commercial solariums that happened in 2015 in Australia was a major step forward, and that really started with the story of a young woman called Claire Oliver who used the last few weeks of her life to raise awareness of the dangers of solariums. Claire had a late stage melanoma and she attributed that to her use of solariums earlier in life. It was estimated that 43 deaths from melanoma every year were caused by solariums, and that around 2,000 cancers were also caused by access to solariums. So that's lives saved, that's cancers avoided, and will have a massive impact on skin cancer prevention and deaths from the disease.
The message to take better care in the sun and avoid tanning is finally getting through to Australia's youth.
More than half now say they prefer the natural look.
We know that in teenagers, preference for a tan has gone down. So when we first started collecting the data, around 60% of teenagers were saying they preferred to get a tan. That figure's now around 38%.
Yeah, when you get SunSmart, which is the name of a campaign, used as a verb not just by Cancer Council people but by the general public and media commentators and so on, I think we've really arrived at an important and a valuable place.
Supporters are integral to everything we do in this space, not just from the donation perspective, but also from living the sun protection values and actually getting out there, putting on a hat, putting on sunscreen, wearing clothing that's sun protective. All of that is the work that Australians themselves are doing to make sure the SunSmart message is carried forward. 2 in 3 Australians will be affected by skin cancer by the age of 70. That's a huge number, and that means that our work is still not done. And as long as the sun shines on Australia, our work will never be done. We've still got more to do in terms of getting sun-smart behaviours out to all Australians.
It's organisations like Cancer Council that are able to have the long-term vision, to play the long game. And that's when it starts to really be seen in reduced mortality from diseases. And let's face it, that is life saved. That's people who didn't die from melanoma who would have if it hadn't been for SunSmart.